are now listening to The Temple of the Killer Tiger Monkeys. The Temple of the Killer Tiger Monkeys is a John Mitchell story and is brought to you by Cine Downloads. Narrated by Dr. Hugh Pincott. Previously on the Temple of the Killer Tiger Monkeys...
I will simply direct these demons of mine to harass and break up this march so it never happens, and then cause the other demons to think twice about getting involved in any of that stuff.
I shall direct my forces against this march, and you shall speak to Satan on my behalf.
Now the next part of the story. Episode 22. The second attack is underway. This one is under the cover of night and began with no fanfare. There was no one to cheer them and no one to wave them off. The council rep, due to instructing Efuhofcn to change his tactics, did not bother to report the attack to him. In fact, he's asleep in his porter cabin, cuddling his plastic lady friend. The recruits, all wearing black, were told to remove and drop all their PPE just inside the gates, out of sight of Zing and his clipboard. They would be retrieved and worn again as they left the demon zone. There are 4 enchanted weapons. One is in the hand of Kok, and the others are shared amongst the new recruits.
Ooh, that's nice.
Everyone else carries a standard garden spade or fork. The 3 Goths, the reporter, and Dubmaster Swift have not been entrusted to carry an enchanted one.
I can't believe this is happening.
And when remembering the beating the other recruits got in the last attack, they feel very vulnerable.
Oh dear.
They walk closely to those with the enchanted weapons.
Oh, shit.
The mission is simply intelligence gathering. They are to find out anything worth reporting, and then go back without fighting any demons.
Be very careful.
They are to remain in the shadows and move around in the distance. There should be no danger to them
Very careful.
if they continue to be careful.
Be very careful.
All the recruits have been carefully briefed to stay watchful and mindful of the risks.
I'm not stupid.
It should be a very easy mission with no problems or violence, except for one fact. The 3 Goths have already tipped off Efuhofcn about the mission, and the demons are out there, waiting. As they move through the ruins, the recruits fan out across the remains of the streets and creep behind piles of rubble and the other obstacles that provide cover. Kok, in the darkness, tries to keep his team in formation, but without night vision goggles and very brief training of his staff, it's virtually impossible to know exactly where his team was in relation to himself.
So frustrating.
So progress is slow. A few times they have to halt while Kok moves back to find and gather his team that may have wandered away by accident.
Idiots. Where have they gone now?
After an hour, they have made good progress into the demon zone and have moved into positions where they can spy on their first targets. In the distance, some demons are busy fighting and farting. Kok orders half his team to observe these demons, while the other half watch and protect the flanks. He nervously surveys the situation. So far, everything had gone to plan, but he doesn't want to linger around for too long. He'd wait a few minutes longer and then call his team to move back out again. The intelligence gathering was not important. What was important was for these new recruits to be able to move in the zone without attracting attention. They had succeeded in this, and Kok felt proud of his new team. This was a great training exercise for them, and would help to build their confidence for further and more detailed missions in the future. Now all they had to do was to quietly make their way back again.
Okay, guys, job done.
Kok quietly instructs his team to move out again in the direction that they'd come.
Let's go home.
And he watches them slowly and carefully move off in that direction. He gives one last glance around to make sure they're not being followed and stalks behind his team. Progress is good for a few minutes when Kok notices that his team has stopped moving. Not sure why, but in the distant darkness, he can hear some shouting and sounds like people hitting each other with weapons. He tells his recruits to hide in cover while he goes to see what is happening at the front of the column. As he moves forward, he notices the troops from the front are moving back with haste.
Hey, where are you going?
He tries asking them what's happening, but they're too scared to speak and rush past.
Where are you going?
This alarms Kok, who moves forward quickly, whilst brandishing his enchanted garden spade.
Okay, let's do this.
He reaches the front of the column and finds the 3 Goths whacking each other with their weapons. Before he can stop them, he looks around, and in the darkness, he can see moonlight glinting off many eyes and teeth. Demons are everywhere. They're blocking off the escape route. He has to track back and make sure his troops are guarding the flanks so they can safely find another way out. As he moves back, he can see demons lining the streets around them. He quickly realizes they are being surrounded and trapped.
This is bad.
Instead of holding their ground, his troops had moved backward away from the demons in fear and had started to group together. His protective flanks had evaporated, and the team was being encircled.
Ground, guys, hold your ground.
There was nothing Kok could do now aside from trying to hold the area they were in by using the rubble as an obstruction. But these recruits were not trained for defensive combat, or any combat at all, so they drew back from the rubble too. Now the demons are all around, the moonlight flashing off their fangs and claws, hungry saliva dripping from their mouths. Kok tries to find the recruits with the enchanted weapons.
Where are they?
They would have to form the vanguard of any defensive action. When he finds them, they can barely hold the weapons in their trembling hands.
Pull yourselves together.
This was going to be a massacre.
Oh my God.
Swift and the reporter had noticed from their hiding place at the front that the advancing demons were ignoring the Goths, who were hitting each other, so they decided to join in with the Goths. They ran over and started whacking them with their shovels. The surprised Goths started fighting them back. All 5 were smashing each other with shovels, and the demons looked at this group of pathetic humans as they drew near. Seeing the sigils on the Goths' faces, they carried on their way to encircle the others. Once the group of sneering demons had moved past, the 5 humans saw their chance to escape, and they ran off back towards the gates, throwing their weapons on the ground as they went. The demons slowly moved closer towards the defensive circle and are now only feet away. Kok shouts the order for the recruits with the enchanted weapons to strike the nearest demons, his plan being to shock the others into retreat.
Attack! Attack!
Leading from the front, Kok runs at the demons immediately in front of him, and he swings his enchanted garden spade in a wide arc. The spade erupts in burning flame and smashes into the 3 demons in his range. All 3 demons burst into a blazing inferno as the spade hits them, and the force of the enchanted swing catapults all 3 through the air. But the force shatters his cheap weapon. The demons close by are all shocked and stop their advance as they watch their demon friends cannonball down the street, setting other demons on fire as they collide into them. The other recruits with enchanted weapons see how the tables have turned and attack the demons closest to them too.
Come on! Come on!
The first recruit throws his garden fork like a javelin, and it lands in a demon's head with a sick thud, setting it ablaze. This demon runs off screaming into the darkness with a flaming fork stuck in his skull. The second recruit swings his spade, and it erupts into flame like Kok's. But this frightens the recruit so much that he lets go mid-swing, and the burning weapon then flies off over the heads of all the demons. The last recruit is so frenzied that he swings his enchanted fork forwards and backward in repeated movements. This explodes the fire on the fork, and then the continual swinging overcharges it and causes the weapon to detonate, hurling the recruit back into the circle. Kok looks on in horror as he sees that all the enchanted weapons are now lost,
Oh my god.
and with it, all hope of escaping unharmed.
This is bad.
The demons, however, are still stunned and are wondering what to do. They don't know if the other humans have enchanted weapons too, and they don't fancy being set on fire. So they stand for a while watching the humans carefully. This standoff continues for a while as both sets of troops size the other up. Efuhofcn appears behind the other demons. He has seen the show of fire as demons have run around him ablaze now. He wants to know why the attackers stall and pushes his way to the front. He is accompanied by Efuhofcn, who is spoiling for a fight. When he reaches the front, he looks at Kok and the other humans circled behind him. He looks into Kok's eyes and sees fear looking back at him. If they have more enchanted weapons, he decides, Kok would be looking a lot more confident. He then looks round at all the demons who are encircling the humans. The demons outnumber the humans 3-1. He just needs someone to break this spell of caution on the demons, and they will smash the humans for the second time. So he calls for Efuhofcn and sends him in to crush the mortal scum.
Rush them.
Efuhofcn laughs out loud and charges like a steam train at the human circle. He plows through the defensive huddle, sending the recruits sprawling everywhere. Seeing this spurs on the other demons. They cheer and launch themselves forward, mauling the temple members in their path. Kok can only look on helplessly as his team is demolished. He doesn't have much time to dwell on this as the demons set on him too, and he finds himself fighting 4 at once with his martial arts skills. Efuhofcn proudly watches his demon soldiers pulverize the temple troops. It's taken barely 10 seconds to utterly crush them. He smugly wonders if he should call a ceasefire like he did on the first attack. But he realizes he's quite enjoying this fast-paced show, and he likes giving his soldiers some fun. Suddenly, there's a fast whooshing noise as Ninja Star flies past his head and plants itself into the face of another demon who howls in pain. He spins around to see where it came from and is met by a fast-moving group of human figures who rush through the rear ranks of the demons, chopping and slashing with blades, firing electric stun guns and throwing metal wire nets over the prone demons. Efuhofcn calls out to the entire group of demonic soldiers and gets them to focus their attention on this new threat. The demons turn, and seeing these new figures attacking, they charge over to engage them. These mysterious figures are no pushovers like the temple troops. These are highly trained warriors. and get to work on the demons, chopping off talons and tentacles, thrusting blades through demon muscle, and splintering demon bones with bludgeoning attacks. The clumsy, overpowered demons cannot match the fast skills of these new humans and get pulled to pieces by superior combat techniques. The demons realize that they're outmatched and start to break away. Efuhofcn keeps forcing demons forward to fight, and they barely last seconds before they're deeply wounded by multiple weapon swings. These demons now run away towards Efuhofcn and into the last of the demons coming to attack.
Run away!
These attacking demons are spooked by the ones running away, so they too turn and run. Soon, all the demons are running away from the battle. Efuhofcn cannot stop them. He shouts at them to stand and fight, but they don't listen. They rush past him, past the temple members who are badly beaten on the ground, and on into the darkness beyond.
Come back here.
Efuhofcn stands alone as these figures now move towards him. Dwarf figures nowhere to be seen, so Efuhofcn spits on the floor with contempt at these new assailants and takes off into the darkness. Kok Wang is the only member of the temple to have managed to hold his ground against the demons. Even though he took a major beating, he never went down, and he now stands dazed and unstable with the rest of the temple members pulling themselves off the floor around him. He watches these new figures walk over to him. They wipe the demon blood and slime from their weapons, and some others in the background pull on the nets with captured demons in them. One steps away from the others and comes to address him direct. He's dressed all in black, with a hood over his face.
Kok Wang, we bring you greetings from the Shrine of the Flying Attack Dragons.
Kok's eyes go wide with shock.
The shrine is here. How long and why?
You have many questions, I see. For now, I would suggest you take care of your fallen comrades, and once they are safely home, you come to the shrine for a discussion. Master Mai Fu Ling would like to speak with you.
The figure hands a card over to Kok, who takes it and nods. The shrine member nods back and starts to leave.
Thank you. Thank you for your help here.
Says Kok. The mysterious figure smiles at him, then walks away. The other shrine members disappear into the darkness, leaving Kok to organize his recruits and get them out of that hellhole.
Come on, guys. Stop being lazy. Let's go.
Soon the temple squad has arrived back at the temple. They have been utterly beaten, and most members can hardly stand, let alone walk. As they enter, Yinghua, Xingti, and Master Cheng Fu rush out to help them in any way they can. The next half hour is a blur of blood, bandages, and plasters. Kok Wang sits dazed in a corner, clutching his business card, as Cheng tells Xing to get the stealth van ready. They have to shuttle the injured to hospital. Xing reminds him that the windscreen is painted black and there's no petrol. Cheng tells him it's an emergency and he should just drive a bit more carefully and use his intelligence to get some fuel. Xing agrees and goes off to siphon some petrol from a manager's car for the van. Ying is busily tending to the many injured who are sitting or lying all over the hall. Cheng looks at all this carnage and wonders how they can continue doing this. They're going to get someone killed if they carry on. Perhaps it was time to stop this madness and tell Steve that it's all over. They can't keep risking people's lives like this. But then, what would Steve say? He'd tell them to leave, take Kok, Ying and Xing and go. Once they were gone, he'd simply carry on without them and without the extra training and weapons provided by himself and his team. Any new recruits would be in a far worse position than they are now. People would get killed if he stepped down. The only option would be to try and reason with Steve's madness, to make him understand that he has to agree to proper training with recruits and cannot send them out early. He has to wear him down until he can see the correct way to conduct the temple affairs. It will be a long, difficult journey, but he has no choice but to take it. People's lives depended on it. With a long sigh, he looks over to where Kok is and goes to find out what happened this time. Kok is staring at the business card in his hand when Cheng approaches. Cheng looks at him before rousing him.
Kok, what happened out there? Was it the same as last time?
Kok eventually looks up at Cheng.
No, Master, it was worse. There were many more demons this time, and they were waiting for us again. They knew we were coming and ambushed us for a second time.
This horrifies Cheng.
Then it is clear we have traitors here. Someone is telling demons everything.
But who could it be, Master? There are so many people here.
Cheng thinks for a while.
Yes, many people are here, but there are only a few who are present for both attacks.
Kok nods in agreement.
Only a few knew when and where we would strike. Steve and the managers didn't know much about the strike apart from knowing one would happen. You, me, Ying and Xing I trust wholeheartedly. So that would leave the 3 Goths, the plumber, and that DJ idiot.
Kok nods intensely.
In time, we should make a trap and see who falls into it. Once we have them, we can tighten up security, and then we'll be far more effective in the field. If, as you say, the demons are getting stronger in numbers, then we cannot risk another foray into their territory until we have identified the spy. Steve will have to wait from now on. It's too dangerous. Did these 5 recruits do anything suspicious tonight?
Well, I saw all 5 in the far distance fighting each other with shovels, and then they disappeared. And where are they now? Hiding in their quarters, no doubt.
Yes, they arrived back much earlier than the rest of your team. Something very strange is going on with those 5. Was there anything else of note?
Indeed, Master. The enchanted weapons were incredibly successful against the demons. Without magic, the demons are extremely vulnerable. If we had properly trained soldiers and enough of these weapons, we would smash the demons in a week.
That's very encouraging news, Kok, and I shall use it to get Steve to give us more time.
It will take a long time to get in that position, Master. That's even if we can get there. Ying is too slow on her own, and these recruits are useless fighters.
Yes, that is all a cause for concern, but we can work on these problems. We can train more people to help Ying, and we can train the recruits harder. Was there anything else that happened tonight?
Kok stares at the business card, then puts it in his jacket pocket.
No, Master. Nothing else of interest happened.
Cheng watches Kok carefully and strokes his beard.
Okay, Kok. You did well tonight. Get some rest.
This episode was brought to you by Cine Downloads, narrated by Dr. Hugh Pincott. Today's episode featured Wai Wong as Master Cheng Fu, Nicholas Vince as Efuhofcn the Demon. Other voices provided by Nathan Nurrah as Kok Wang, Ben Carroll, John Mitchell, Chris Ball Hero. Written, produced, edited and directed by John Mitchell. Co-produced by Chris Ball Hero. Sound recorded by Louis Thompson, Chris Ball Hero. Sound engineer Andrew Doc Collins. Theme tune by Jed Gray. Thank you for listening, and watch out for the next episode of the Temple of the Killer Tiger Monkeys.